Well, that's one thing I wanted to get into is there's not only been an you're not only the most banned, most deplatformed, most censored individual in the world these days, but you're also one of the most libeled about, lied about, defamed individuals in the world these days. And I was wondering, just from a broader context, that you've achieved extraordinary things that, I can't imagine you thought at 20 you would ever achieve. Did you think at times, it's going to be a lot, like it seems to me part of the reason the system does this is to not only use you as an example to do it to other people, but also to stop another like what they're doing to Julian Assange. They want no more Julian Assange.
Oh, 100%, 100%.
They want no more Alex Joneses. Why do you stay in the fight despite all the harassment you get?
Okay, well, I'll let a secret out here. People always say, don't let the enemy know what's really going on, but it's more important that my listeners and supporters know what's going on. I've only gotten sophisticated in the last 6, 7, 8 years, and I've gotten more sophisticated as it goes. I'm learning more all the time. And because the system is so discredited, used to we hear a prime minister or a president, we believed it, but now they've lied to us so much, it's going to be a Joe Rogan, or it's going to be a Robert Barnes, or it's going to be somebody seen as an outsider. And so what I learned is when the establishment attacked me quite a bit over the years, it actually built me up with the public. And so they weren't sophisticated enough to know their attacks on me is actually what built me up to a certain point. And then, Barnes, I'm sorry, I was going off a rabbit trail. What was the question?
And I'll interject there, because this is the one thing that the media either doesn't understand or does understand, is that by banning someone like you, as opposed to allowing your discourse, however offensive people think it is, to be debated publicly, they legitimize you among people who might not have otherwise ever heard of you. And they basically silence you to people who would have never watched you in the first place. And what ends up happening is that the people who were inclined to believe what you were saying before, even if it's wrong, and then we're going to get to a couple of examples, are going to be more inclined to believe it now, because the distrust in the authority is such that if they do something, people are going to assume there's a nefarious reason for which they're doing it, and they're going to presuppose the truth even when you make a mistake. It's the
exactly. Now, just to answer the question, because it popped back in my head, just to answer the question quickly. What's happened is, why do I stay in the fight? I'm a fighter, and there's also the great frustration of what you said when you started the show here. I have to sit there and watch dozens of platforms say whatever they want about me, and then I can't respond on those platforms. It's like a message in the bottle on my own show at Infowars.com and Band.video. And a big audience does come here, thank God. They come and they decide when to defend me. So it's almost like I'm a quadriplegic politically. I've got my little area and I'm stuck on this island, and then I'm being attacked and bombarded. And I'm not trying to say I'm a victim, but that's how it is. Then people tune in. They know what's really being said. They know I'm a real person. They know I'm apologetic for mistakes I've made. They know they exaggerate the things I've done that are wrong. And so they come back and defend me. So the reason I stay in the fight is A, I'm a fighter, but B, they want to destroy me. They want to put me in prison. They're not just trying to sue me into oblivion. They have open subpoenas from the Justice Department. They're trying to say I led the Capitol attack. They've got open grand juries on other things, like treating me like I'm Al Capone. I mean, they have the FBI, the Justice Department, and the organized crime people after me. They went and through a thing called G2. I had perfect corporate credit. We never do chargebacks, and we had like less than 2% credit card bills, a percentage. And they just went and put a designation 3 years ago, hate. And bank accounts I had 20 years were taken away. Everything was kicked off. And now you see that's happening to Trump. It's happening to everybody. I mean, it's true authoritarianism. It's true global social credit score. So now this is simply survival. People ask, my God, how are you taking all these attacks? Well, I better take them and fight back, because if they know what they're doing and they have a formula, if they can cut off my revenue stream, they intend to indict me, but not till they get to that point. Because if I've got revenue stream, I can get good lawyers and have still enough media to fight them. But they want to put me in jail. They want to put Trump in jail. Look, Trump's got big problems. So do I. None of us are perfect. But he's not a criminal, neither am I. And so we become symbols of liberty and freedom for what you just hit earlier. They want to make an example out of me. I'm not naive. And 5 years ago, no exaggeration, Hillary ran the last 6 months of the campaign mainly against Trump on Alex Jones. She ran tens of millions of dollars of ads on just one ad buy on one subject alone against Trump, saying I was his brain, which was not true. And so I knew then, I said, I'm not this important. I mean, I knew, because I went from having like 5 million listeners a day to having like 20 million a day by the election. And that was all their attack building me up to be this thing they thought would hurt Trump. When that project failed, they went even crazier. And so I understood it wasn't me. It was that there was a lot of off-color stuff. There was a lot of crazy stuff I said out of context. I was the craziest thing they could find. They chose me like Frankenstein, but built me up even bigger, you see. And then when that didn't work, now they're completely crazy because they made me 10 times bigger. Now they've been attacking more. Now I'm even bigger. And it's like insane. And so it's Newtonian physics. Every action, opposite equal reaction. So they keep, it's like a cheesy analogy of Godzilla where he's radioactive, he gets nuked so he can blow up, the other monster. And that basically now I'm this big radioactive monster. And I'm like telling them, please stop. I don't want to fight anymore. I just want peace. I don't like where this is going. And they just can't stop. So they just keep firing all their weapons at me, and it just makes it bigger. And it's the same thing with the populist movement. They're trying to say questioning elections is terror, or questioning lockdowns is terror, and they're announcing we're going to have Homeland Security and the U.S. military go after people. That's making everyone get radical, and it's leading towards a giant war. I don't want that. But it doesn't matter. They're going to, I'm sorry, I'm ranting. No, they're saying I want that. So it doesn't matter what I really do. I'm now going to be the symbol of a civil war in America. This